their season assaulting the record books in a number of categories. For Ray Tanner's Gamecocks, Carolina will use this last regular season game tuning up for next week's tournament in Birmingham and what they hope will be an eventual trip to Omaha. It's the Vols and the Gamecocks. Next. Number 1 ranked South Carolina shoots for its 50th win of the season and in its final regular season game looks for its first ever sweep of the University of Tennessee. And hello everybody, welcome on this Mother's Day to Columbia, South Carolina. This is Charlie McAlexander along with Jeff Jacoby. Two excellent coaches here on the field today. Rod Delmonico of Tennessee has won National Coach of the Year honors and League Coach of the Year honors in '95. Ray Tanner of the University of South Carolina will probably garner those this time.
Almost no doubt about that, Charlie. I tell you, Rod Delmonico had great players back in '95. Todd Helton is now with the Colorado Rockies. Bubba Trammell is playing for the Devil Rays. And Ray Tanner has some outstanding performers on this Gamecock team, including a guy you'll see today, catcher Brandon Pack.
And, of course, the Brooms have come out many, many times for the Gamecocks this season, and they try to do it for the first time against Tennessee today.
Auburn, Alabama, Mississippi State, Vandy, Kentucky, and Georgia. Those are the 6 sweeps so far this year. The last 5 in succession for South Carolina. They'll try to get a first-ever sweep against Tennessee this afternoon.
2 guys on the hill today have overcome injuries and have pitched quite well.
Chris Spigner goes for South Carolina, a fellow that has had some elbow problems, pitched only half as many innings this year as he did last year as a freshman. Devon Nicholson goes for Tennessee. Shoulder problems kept him out of the entire season last year. He's just now rounding back into form.
Glad you're with us today on a beautiful sunshiny day in Columbia, South Carolina. Yesterday it was 97 degrees. Today, only 84.
Very cool.
We'll be back with starting lineups in just a moment.
Ever had trouble finding the one thing you need, like an important receipt or your bank card? Now you can find all your cards and receipts instantly with the amazing Magic Wallet. Is your wallet bursting at the seams? You need the Magic Wallet. The Magic Wallet is thin, compact, good-looking, and made of top-quality leather. But watch closely, because you're about to see what makes the Magic Wallet different than any other. Simply put your cash or a receipt inside and close the wallet, and presto, it's magically grabbed and held tight. The Magic Wallet instantly grabs parking stubs, business cards, credit card receipts, and more, so you'll know just where to find them. But that's not.
Lots of sunshine, very good crowd once again here at Sarge Fry Field in Columbia, South Carolina. Charlie McAlexander, Jeff Jacoby, and we're glad you're with us today. Now let's check the lineup. First of all, for the visiting Tennessee Volunteers, it'll be Burke leading it off, the leading hitter with a .396 average second in stolen bases, followed by another very good player, Daniel, the shortstop.
Sure enough, Charlie, he's a guy that set the school stolen base record here yesterday with 2 stolen bases, and he now has 56 on the season. Jeff Christensen will follow him at first base, followed by the DH Brandon Hopkins coming off a stress fracture that's kept him out most of the SEC year. Justin Parker will hit next, followed by Jeff Baumtrog, one of the hottest hitters in the Southeastern Conference. Catcher John Massey will bat next, then Ryan Moffett, and batting ninth is Kris Bennett, the third baseman.
Now let's check the Carolina defense. Behind the dish, it'll be Brandon Pack having a spectacular year. Plummer at third, Meyer the freshman at short, McHenry at second base, and Dyson, who normally is the designated hitter, will get the start at the first bag today. In center field, the young man who Ray Tanner calls the best outfielder in the nation, Marcus McBeth. In left, Nate Janowicz, one of 4 seniors playing his final home game today for Carolina. And starting over in right, one of the 4 seniors, Shane Nelson, who has been battling injuries in his entire career. On the hill, it'll be Chris Spigner with a record of 6-1 and an ERA of 3.47. Spigner to the hill for Carolina. Nicholson will put his foot on the rubber for the Tennessee Volunteers. Carolina, of course, holds the SEC record for consecutive wins at 22. The old record was 19. And that record was set by that great LSU team in 1997. Tennessee against ranked teams this year, 2-9, losing the last 7. Carolina has taken the first 2 here. Burke stands in. SEC leader in hits with 106. And here's the first pitch of the game by Spigner, and it's off the dish.
Chris Burke, Charlie, has a shot today if he can get 3 hits to not only set or tie the school record for hits, but also get back to 400.
Ball inside, almost got him. 2-0. Burke says it did get him. And he'll walk to the plate umpire, Art Schmidt, and say, look, take a look at this red spot. Let's see if he wins the argument. Normally you don't. And he won't this time.
I'll tell you this about Chris Burke. He's about as fine a young man as you're ever going to find. If he says it hit him, I got to believe him.
Of course, plate umpires have not been known to have the greatest eyesight in the world. So he seemed pretty confident there. 2-0 pitch coming from the right-hander, Chris Spigner. It's off the plate. 3 straight balls by Spigner. One of the things you don't want to do this Tennessee ball club is put them on the bases and give them a chance to run. Burke on the year stolen 52 of 59 bases. Here's Spigner's pitch, and it's 4 straight balls. Burke on, and we'll see a lot of throws to first base.
On Friday night, Kip Bachnight started for the Gamecocks, and the first time Burke got on, which was in the first inning, he threw over 12 times, and Burke never did get to steal.
And a total of 17, 18 times for the ball game.
He spent a lot of time keeping Burke close. He gets a great jump.
Stevie Daniel is shortstop. Will hit next, and there's the first throw over to Dyson. Stevie Daniel leads the team in stolen bases, swiping 56 of 62. He has the only stolen base of this series. The stretch, Spigner, and the delivery. Popped up. Dyson will have an easy play. He gives way, however, for McHenry, the second baseman. There's one down.
Well, one good thing South Carolina's done all weekend, Chris Burke and Stevie Daniel combined for 134 runs on the year. That's first and second on the team. They've only scored 1 run in this series.
1 away. Christensen, good-looking left-handed hitter, number 1 on the team in batting average at .361. Starts today at first base. The 1997 Gatorade Tennessee High School Player of the Year. Runner at first, 1 down. Spigner. Pitch inside. There's a stolen base. Burke got a great jump. And the ball was a bit inside for Pack, so he couldn't make the clean catch and the clean delivery.
When you look at Burke, if he's against a right-handed pitcher, Charlie, he'll go almost every time. Burke and Daniel both have the green light any time they get on, unless Coach Rod Delmonico puts the red light on.
Runner in scoring position for Christensen. 1-0 count. Ball hit sharply towards center field. McBeth is there, got a great arm. Burke won't challenge it. So Burke stays at second. They're 2 down. Ray Tanner says that Marcus McBeth is, in his opinion, by far the best outfielder in the nation. That's quite a compliment.
Covers a lot of ground out there. I tell you what, he gets a great jump on the ball as well.
2 down. Stepping to the plate for the University of Tennessee, number 6, Brandon Hopkins, the designated hitter, hitting .324. Spigner will check Burke. Wheels, fakes the throw. Got to keep him honest.
And he will steal third.
Or anything else in his way. Tennessee with 208 stolen bases, leading the NCAA in that category. Spigner, the pitch, fastball. Maybe he took a little something off that one. Swung on and missed.
Brandon Hopkins has fought a stress fracture in his shin all during the Southeastern Conference season. Really got his first start in the field this weekend.
2 down. Spigner out of the stretch once again. Burke's on the way to third. Here's Pack's throw. It's there. Did he get it? No. A great break by Burke and a very good throw by Pack. And Burke, they say, beats the throw there. So says third base umpire Wayne Hallbrook. Runner in scoring position for Tennessee. Spigner will pitch to Hopkins with a 1-1 count.
On the replay right there, awfully close, even tough to tell with the slow motion.
Out of the windup, Spigner with 2 down. Pitch is high to Pack. 2-1. Hopkins hitting at .324. Spigner checks Burke. Pitch is inside. 3-1. Spigner comes in with a 6-1 record and a 3.47 ERA. Pitch swung on and missed. 3-2, and Pack thought that was strike 3.
He sure did. He thought the one earlier should have been called a strike.
Wishful thinking. Full count with 2 away as Spigner puts his right foot on the rubber and delivers the pitch. Swung on foul back to the screen. Count stays at 3-2.
Brandon Hopkins, a career 300 hitter in Southeastern Conference play, Charlie, and he's had such a hard time getting that swing back after missing so much, and just 1 for 9 so far in this series.
Hopkins looking for his 20th ribby of the year. The pitch is low and a free pass to Hopkins, so runners at the corner with 2 away.
And Tennessee will do a lot of things here. You have to watch Coach Rod Delmonico. They call it Rod Ball in Knoxville. And he will send a runner from first to get in a run down to try to get a run in, and he certainly will not hesitate to send Hopkins, who has good speed.
The right fielder Justin Parker stands in, hitting .313. Tennessee had their 5-game win streak snapped when they came in here Friday in a 14-3 loss to Carolina. Breaking ball is there. Toss to Black on the inside part of the plate, 0-1.
Chris Burke's stolen base a moment ago gives him 54 for the year. That ties the old record that Stevie broke yesterday.
Spigner pitches outside. Evens the count at 1-1. Carolina set an attendance record yesterday for the season, over 95,000. Anxious to see what the count is today.
Another good crowd.
Spigner with runners at the corners and the stretch, and the pitch on the way. Breaking ball is the beauty. 1-2.
Parker thought that one was a little bit inside, but it sure was a beauty. It was a changeup, and he just was going to be way out in front of it, so he let it go by.
Parker with 37 RBI on the year. Runner breaks to second. Pack takes the throw. Now runners at second and third with 2 away, and deuces are wild. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs.
Tennessee, you mentioned over 200 stolen bases. In fact, they're ahead of the second place team, which I believe is Alabama in the conference, by over 100 stolen bases.
Runners at second and third for Spigner. Breaking pitch, lined foul. Count stays at 2-2. Tennessee is a team with a batting average of .321, 45 round trippers, 436 RBI, and a total of 678 hits. 2-2 from Spigner. Fouled out of play. Over the press box. It was 97 degrees here yesterday, and it was absolutely brutal.
Well, I call the baseball games for Tennessee on radio, and John Wilkerson and I were certainly in our shorts and T-shirts yesterday.
And about to come out of those, huh?
Just about.
Parker looks at Spigner's pitch inside, a bit high, and it's full at 3-2. Got a place to put him, but that would bring up Jeff Baumtrog, the center fielder, who's hitting .333. 22nd pitch by Spigner already. Pitch is there, hit in the gap, and Tennessee will score first and looking for 2 runs, and it will come with ease as Janowicz had no play at all. So Tennessee takes the early 2-0 lead.
Good job of hitting right there by Justin Parker. Took the ball the other way, which he does not do very often, as a matter of fact, and gets Tennessee on the board first. However, you have to watch for Tennessee. They've led in, I believe it's 12 of their Southeastern Conference games, only to lose later on.
On Spigner's 23rd pitch, delivered to Parker, 2 RBI for Justin Parker. Ball's up 2-0 in the Tennessee first. Baumtrog, right-handed hitter, stands in with a runner at first as a throw over to Dyson. Easily back in time as Parker. Carolina playing straight away with 2 down. Spigner, pitch inside. 1-0.
Parker 13 of 17 in the stolen base department. He will go as well.
Baumtrog, the MVP in the Junior College World Series. Here's a ball hit to Meyer. Forced play, and that ends the inning. But Tennessee gets the pair. We go to the Gamecock first. 2-0 Volunteer. Welcome back to Sarge Frye Field, Columbia, South Carolina. Tennessee gets a 2 spot in their half of the first inning on an RBI single by Justin Parker. Now let's set the hitting order for the Carolina Gamecocks. Right, number 1 in America, Nate Janowicz, hitting .341, will lead off and play left field, followed by the shortstop, Drew Meyer, the freshman, hitting .313 with 8 home runs. Hitting in the 3rd spot, the right fielder, Brennan Dees, who had his 9th home run last night for Carolina. The cleanup hitter will be Brandon Pack, hitting .325 with 15 round trippers. Number 1 with 66 RBI. Then the first baseman, Trey Dyson. Then Trip Kelly leads the team in home runs with 18, followed by Chris Plummer, the 3rd backer, McBeth, and McHenry. Now let's check the Tennessee defense.
For the Volunteers, they'll go this way. In left field, it'll be Ryan Moffett. Jeff Baumtrog covers a lot of ground in center. Justin Parker in right. Kris Bennett will be at 3rd. Stevie Daniel at short. Chris Burke at 2nd. Jeff Christensen at 1st. The battery, John Massey behind the plate, and Devon Nicholson on the mound.
Nate Janowicz will lead it off here in the Gamecock first. Carolina with 32 home wins this season. Overall record 49-6, and in the SEC already the regular season champs at 24-5. Number 1 in America for the 4th straight week. Nicholson, the right-hander, 6'2", 180, with the first delivery, and it's in there for a strike.
Devon Nicholson, Charlie, is coming off a shoulder surgery last year. He missed the entire year. Has just now really started to come back into his own.
Janowicz looks at the second pitch and delivers it to center field, and camping out under it for the first out is Baumtrog. So 1 down as Janowicz hits it straight away.
Nicholson had some problem with his shoulder coming out of socket. They actually went in and had to shave the ball joint up in the shoulder and then tighten the tendons to tighten that shoulder back up. He went through a grueling 12-month rehab and has thrown a lot better of late.
Drew Meyer, number 7, the shortstop, hitting from the left side. Gets a delivery, breaking pitch outside, misses by Nicholson. Meyer, second-round draft pick of the Los Angeles Dodgers out of high school, decided not to go, even with Tommy Lasorda coming to his home in Charleston, South Carolina, to try to convince him.
Well, that's got to be a very tough decision for a young man to make, as Tommy can be very persuasive.
Meyer hitting at now officially .315. He'll be followed by Dees and then Pack. Pitches there on the corner. Evens the count at 1 apiece. We got 1 down. Tennessee with an early 2-0 lead.
Devon Nicholson has an excellent fastball, threw in the 90s before the surgery, and he's approaching that again, according to coach.
Meyer hits it right back to Nicholson. Easy play for the second out of the inning. So Meyer is retired. Meyer started off this series going 4 for 4 against the Volunteers on Friday night.
Had quite a night. He certainly did. So far on the series, 5 for 9 with those 4 runs scored. Also has a run batted in.
They will have Shane Nelson now, late addition to the lineup, who slips in there, being a senior, one of the 4 seniors playing their final home game. He'll probably be in there for a few innings. Swung on and missed in the first pitch. Big left-hander. Had leg problems, and they just kept on and on and on. He was looking forward to playing and being a big contributor, but has played sparingly so far this season, but great leadership as one of the co-captains. Pitches there, and Nelson didn't like it. 0-2.
A lot of the players now stand so close to the plate, anything that's over the inside part looks like it's almost going to hit them. The batters react that way a lot.
Nelson hitting .210. Played in 21 games, started 13. That pitch is wide, 1-2. Has had 62 at-bats. Scored 9 runs, 13 hits, a couple of doubles, and 2 home runs, and 8 RBI. Pitch is way outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. This is Charlie McAlexander with Jeff Jacoby. Glad you joined us on this Mother's Day. Hope you mothers out there had a great day, as you should. Here's a wind in the pitch, and Nelson fouls it back to the screen.
Certainly do want to wish my mother as well a happy Mother's Day this afternoon. And another big thing happening today is Rod Delmonico celebrating birthday number 42 this afternoon.
Nelson will look at a 2-2 pitch from Nicholson. Will try to get out of the inning after Tennessee had opened things up early on. 2 RBI single. Gave them that cushion, the deuce cushion from Justin Parker. Nelson pops it up toward the third baseman, Kris Bennett. Has it, and the side is retired. We'll go to the Tennessee second. Volunteers lead it here in Columbia. Jump off first by a couple.
What would you do if a stranger talked to you?
I wouldn't talk to them because they might be bad.
Very good.
Carolina.
Coming over from Knoxville, it was not anywhere near that hot, and the humidity here is what really gets you. Walk out the door, and boy, it's like walking into an oven.
A lot of liquids will be consumed here today, and a lot of folks brought their coolers in. A lot of hats on as well.
The kind of day that you'd love to have that home locker room with the air conditioning. Yesterday, Tennessee got here 2 hours before the game and took batting practice in their black practice jerseys. I felt sorry for them.
Standing in now, John Massey, the catcher, transfer from the University of Mississippi. Very solid player. Spigner with the delivery, and it's in there.
John has really struggled the last couple of weekends. He has just done all the catching for Tennessee, and it's really starting to take its toll.
Spigner's pitch, breaking ball, slow bouncer to Plummer. He'll deliver on to Dyson, and there is one down. Tennessee leads it 2-0. Tennessee Volunteers come in here with a 40-22 record, 10-17 in the SEC, out of the tournament next week. But Jeff, you say that Delmonico thinks he may have a shot at an NCAA regional. How's that?
Well, basically because he's got 40 wins, and that's been the magic number. And at this point, he thinks this squad is certainly one of the best 64 in the nation, and he hopes that they'll set a precedent this year.
Pitch hit to left. Jano could have no problem with this one. Can of corn out, number 2.
Now, you can make an argument for that. Of course, in the NCAA basketball tournament, the best 64 teams in the nation aren't in that field
Absolutely.
either. So it's that kind of thing. I really have a hard time believing that the selection committee is going to want to set that type of precedent. Normally, you have to make at least your conference tournament, and most of the time, be 500 in your conference to get a bid.
Southeastern Conference is so strong. Many regard it as the best baseball league in America. You'd think Tennessee, if anybody's got a shot, may have a shot.
Well, you look at them statistically, first in the league in ERA, tied for first in fielding, and third in hitting coming into this series, and yet they're not going to make the tournament.
Kris Bennett hitting .332. Sees a breaking ball go wide and off the chest of Pack. He'll retrieve it. 22 pitches in the first inning and just 5 this inning for Chris Spigner. He threw a lot more than he wanted to throw in that Tennessee top of the first. Ball is low. 2-0. 2 down.
On a day with 80% probably humidity and temperatures in the 80s, you don't want to throw any more than you have to.
Fastball low. Third straight ball delivered by Spigner. Kris Bennett, interestingly, the volunteer third baseman, leads the team in RBI with 59. Ninth place hitter.
And bats 9. Sure does.
Pitch is in there right down the heart.
Says a whole lot about the bottom third of the Tennessee order, because you've got to set them up to get them in, and Bennett's done a good job down there.
Spigner, 3-1 count. Outside, he walked it. So runners aboard with 2 down in the Tennessee second.
Third walk of the game already for Spigner.
Now back to the top of the order, and it is Chris Burke, the second baseman, who walked in the first and then stole a base. What's new?
Nothing.
Burke stealing a base. Right?
Nothing is new with that.
2-0 Tennessee. Throw over to first.
His average at 396. He has been over 400 most of the season and is battling today to try to finish that way.
Throw to first once again. Chris Burke tied the Tennessee record, going 6 for 6 against Hawaii Hilo. Interestingly, Nate Janowicz, the Carolina left fielder, set a record with 6 straight hits against Kentucky. Butted high in the air. Pack can't get to it as it comes back over his head. Now to play. 0-1.
Chris also is going to have the honor of trying out for Team USA a little bit later in the summer in Colorado Springs. It's in Arizona, actually, where the tryout is, but one of only 3 Southeastern Conference players in the first round of people invited to that big tryout, so he's real excited about that.
Spigner out of the stretch with a runner at first and an 0-1 count. Dropped over to first, and the crowd thought that Dyson got him, but no.
I tell you what, this crowd is certainly very influential with their, and there's a good look at it right there as Bennett gets his hand just barely back in. Good call by the umpire.
Another throw over, and again he's back safely.
And that is Jay Asher down at first, by the way.
Schmidt behind the plate. Al Brook, the umpire at third. Another throw over. Just like we said at the top of the broadcast, when Burke's on, he's going to get a lot of attention, as he should.
Oh, he will, and I think he's got an outstanding opportunity to have a great pro career after he leaves Tennessee. And ball fans just hoping he sticks around for 4 years.
Pitch on the way by Spigner, foul to win. Burke was going. He'll have to come back after sliding in. Face first. We'll make that Bennett sliding in face first with Burke at the plate. Bennett got on, drawing a walk from Spigner. 2-0 Tennessee in the Volunteers' second inning. Burke is ready. 55 RBI on the year. This one's wide by Spigner.
Bennett will go as well. 20 of 28 in stolen bases on the year. And this Tennessee team, for the first time ever, has 4 on the team with 20 or more stolen bases.
Carolina playing Burke straight away. 1-2 pitch, 2 down, and Spigner backs off the rubber. Burke takes a look. The ball is in the dirt. Nice play by Pack, who has been just exceptional behind the plate with the bat. He runs very well. He's a big catcher. Last year, Carolina set a school record for passed balls, and many of them were just right to two guys who were catching last year. Just couldn't find the handle, and so Pack has been such a stabilizing force for many reasons. Here's a blooper over second, and Dees will try to get to it. It's off his glove, and so moving around to third base will be Bennett, and in scoring position with 2 down and a bloop single by Burke.
Well, pretty good play. I believe that's the mistake we made before. Is Shane Nelson out in right field and may not have been out there a whole lot this year, and came in and the ball just barely tipped off of his glove, and Tennessee has a 2-out rally.
Normally it will be Dees who gets that start in right field, and at the last minute they put in Nelson, who is not as quick. And here comes runner into scoring position, Bennett. Runners on the corner. Spigner, 2-out situation. Tennessee up by 2. Another throw over to first to Dyson.
That moves Burke within 2 now of the Tennessee school record, which was set 2 years ago by Jeff Pickler, who's now in a Double-A ball.
Stevie Daniel grounded to, or rather popped to second in the first inning. Spigner out of the stretch, fires over to first again.
Daniel Dew just 1 for 9 in this series. His average has fallen down to .313. He was up in the 360s not but a couple of weeks ago.
Pitch is there. Pack's going to throw to second. Off McHenry. But Bennett's going to stay put at third. What you got to do when the ball is in the dirt, if you can't make that quick scoop play, you got to keep it in front of you. And luckily it bounded off McHenry's chest. Also, Meyer had backed him up. Here comes pitching coach Jerry Myers out to talk with Chris Spigner. Nobody warming up in the Carolina bullpen as yet.
Plot thickens a little bit as far as Tennessee. Of course, nothing to play for really today but pride. As you see right there, Burke go in with another stolen base. He's now within 1 of Daniel as they race to see who gets the record for the year, as both of them now have eclipsed the record set by Clay Green a couple of years ago, as Burke now just 1 behind Daniel.
Runners at second and third. Spigner with 2 down. Thrown a lot of pitches so far in this heat, which is about 84 degrees of humidity. is the tough part, though. Very high. Pitches right down the pipe, and it evens the count at 1-1. Carolina, of course, being the #1 seed in the SEC tournament, will play Wednesday in Birmingham either against Kentucky or Ole Miss. Breaking ball, fouled away, out of play, down the first baseline.
Daniel, a .312 hitter on the year with runners in scoring position, but hasn't been able to deliver an RBI so far in this series. South Carolina's done a great job of keeping him off the bases.
Playing today in the SEC, Bama at LSU, Arkansas at Ole Miss, Mississippi State playing at Auburn in the loveliest village on the plain, Georgia at Florida, and Kentucky at Vanderbilt. Spigner checks the runner at third, comes from the windup on a 1-2 pitch, and Packneck makes another great play.
Well, I tell you what, that is an outstanding play. That ball hit about 4 feet out in front of the plate, and it's hard to tell where that's going to go. He got his chest in front of it, put it in front of him where he can handle it, as you'll see right here. Watch him move out there. Very nicely done.
Spigner, 2-2 delivery. Breaking ball is outside. Count goes full. Stevie Daniel, first-team freshman All-America last year, trying to give his starting pitcher, Devon Nicholson, some more insurance. Already they lead 2-0. It's not there. And a free pass to Daniel. That's a 4th walk from Spigner.
And walks will come back to haunt you. That's an old adage in baseball, but it certainly is true. And right now, Jeff Christensen comes to the plate for Tennessee, who's their leader in home runs on the year, and it's been an outstanding hitter in the Southeastern Conference. I believe second right now in the league.
Scott Barber loosening up in the Carolina bullpen as Spigner delivers, and it's outside. Breaking ball missed to Jeff Christensen, second leading hitter on this Tennessee team. Flied out in the first. Christensen hitting .359. Pitched by Spigner. Swung on and missed. 1-1.
Jeff's become a very much improved player this year for this Volunteer team. It started going the other way a lot more, and it's really made him into a much better hitter.
Spigner will wind and fire, and he missed it. Pack liked the pitch, kept the mitt there, but it's off, and the count goes 2-1.
Really tough to get that inside corner strike. If it's just a little off the plate, outside, a lot of the umpires will go with it, but you don't find it inside very often.
2-1 counted, 2 away. It's in there. Evens the count at 2.
Another good pitch. It was just about in the same spot. Moved it over just enough.
Carolina with a very good team RA of 3.38. Christensen swung on, and it bounds over to. We almost had one of our photographers make a very fine play there.
You have to give him an air, though, I believe.
Well, it's hot out there. His hands were sweating.
Didn't have a glove either.
Hands were sweaty. You got to give him a break. 2-2 delivery. Breaking pitch is high. Go full. And so if Spigner delivers one more ball, that's an easy walk-in run for Tennessee, and I'm sure Barber's going to warm up a little bit quicker now.
Well, you've also got a good speedy runner at first base for Tennessee and Stevie Daniel. With the count full, the runners will be going on the pitch. You get one in an alley, and you may get a base-clearing double.
Again, Scott Barber warming up in the bullpen. Now here comes head coach Ray Tanner out. There's a good look at Barber with a 2.87 ERA. He's won 6 and lost 1, 25 appearances, started 6 games, thrown 75 innings, and given up 68 hits.
I think right now what Ray Tanner did was went and talked to home plate umpire Arthur Schmidt and asked if he could go out and just talk to his pitcher Spigner about the fact that his elbow may be bothering him because he's had the problem this year, and the umpire is accompanying Tanner now to the mound to make sure that's the only conversation going on, and they're asking him right now if he's all right.
Carolina and Tennessee in the series dates way back to 1912. That's when the Gamecocks won 2 out of 3 games played right here. Here's another look at that last pitch, and it is high. It looks like it got away from him.
And you could see the body English or the body language of Spigner. Looked like he kind of hunched that shoulder up and moved that arm very gingerly.
Jeff Christensen Tennessee first sacker, 97 Tennessee Gatorade High School Player of the Year. A lot of folks wanted him. Tennessee was fortunate enough to get him. 3-2, the runner is going, and swung on and missed by Christensen as Spigner gets out of the inning, and that's the first strikeout for Spigner. We'll go on to the Carolina second. Tennessee up by a deuce. We're coming right back.
Unlock the secrets successful investors use to make profits trading currencies. Discover how a small change in the euro dollar could turn $2,500 into $5,000, $10,000, and even more. Get the free report, Currencies Made Simple.
Well, if you joined us at the beginning of the broadcast, and it seems like a long couple of innings, it is. Tennessee with a 2-0 lead. There's a look at Rod Delmonico, as Jeff told you, his 42nd birthday today, and he'd like a big present. I'm sure he's already had the candles, but he'd like another candle added to that. I don't think he would mind that at all.
You know, he's 2-1 lifetime on his birthday.
And there's Ray Tanner, 41 years of age, graduate of North Carolina State, was an all-ACC shortstop, also played third there, was an assistant coach and promoted to head coach at a very young age, 29 years of age. Assistant coach on the USA national team and Olympic team. Here's Brandon Pack, takes a look, checks his swing, and it's 1-0 to Pack. 2 runs on 2 hits for Tennessee. No runs and no hits for Carolina as yet. Pack delivers the first hit for Carolina. And it's a line drive that Pack can run, and he's going to go for 2, and he'll be in there easily. Pack with a double puts Carolina in scoring position. And that'll bring up the designated hitter, Trey Dyson.
That was the 4th double of the series for Pack. He has been red hot.
Dyson had been the DH and now starting at first base today. Dyson has been just about as hot as any hitter in America as of late. Over the first couple of games, he's delivered 11 RBIs.
He's had a great series. On Friday night, he broke the game open with a grand slam in the 5th.
And it was a shot.
It was.
I mean, a real shot. Lays that bat back. Stands very much upright and looks at a ball outside. 1-0. Trey hitting .315, youngster from right here in Columbia, South Carolina. Getting the start at first in the place of Trip Kelly today. 1-0 pitch to Dyson. Sees it go outside. 2-0. Trey Dyson is an excellent student as well as a very fine baseball player, a member of the President's List.
Find a lot of that in baseball. A lot of excellent students.
2-0 pitch coming to Dyson with Pack in scoring position at second. That's the 3rd straight ball. This one goes low from Nicholson.
You listen to some of the coaches around the league. Baseball in the Southeastern Conference is a true collegiate sport because these indeed are student athletes. The scholarship limitations don't allow you to give fulls to many guys, so they're really in it to play ball and to get an education.
3-0 pitch coming to Dyson. And it's 4 straight balls to Trey Dyson. They wanted to be very careful with a young man who has been so hot swinging the bat. In Carolina, with nobody out, has runners at first and second.
It's been one of Devon Nicholson's problems all year long coming in. He'd walked 15 while striking out 16, and that's not the kind of ratio you're looking for, and he gets himself in trouble a lot of times.
Marcos Rios now will come on for Carolina. Plays as a designated hitter. Young man who started quite a few games as a catcher last year, but with Pack coming in, plus Marcos Rios has delivered some big hits in his role as a DH or a pinch hitter. 2-0 Tennessee in the Carolina second. Swung on and missed by Rios. Very aggressive hitter.
Whoa. Took a rip at that one, didn't he?
A very hyper young man.
Wow.
He's bouncing all over the place. Never want to give him chocolate or coffee before a game. 0-1 pitch Out of the stretch, Nicholson delivers, bunted by Rios. Great bunt. Nicholson fakes the throw to first. He was very wise not to throw it over there. Great bunt by Rios, and the bags are full. Nobody out for Carolina, down 2-0 to Tennessee.
I'll tell you what, Carolina has executed the bunting game this weekend against the Vols, as you'll watch right here. Watch the perfect execution. You don't get any better than that. Nicholson gets over there, makes a wise decision. No way he's going to get the speedy Rios.
Bags are full. A Gamecocks. And Marcus McBeth, the center fielder, will talk with head coach Ray Tanner. So many times this season, 4 times to be exact, Carolina's had the bases full and gotten them all home. 2 grand slams by Kelly, 1 by Pack, 1 by Dyson against these Tennessee Volunteers. McBeth is yet to do it, but of course the home folks here would like to see it happen. McBeth 2 for 9 with the bases loaded this season. Nicholson out of the stretch with the bags full. Breaking pitch, a beauty to McBeth.
I'm sorry, Charlie. McBeth's had a great series so far. 6 out of 9, 3 runs scored, 2 RBIs, also has a double.
McBeth also a member of the football team. Kickoff man. Fastball is outside. Evens the count at 1 apiece. Marcus hitting .305 coming into this game. McBeth with 62 hits, 8 doubles, 3 triples, and 36 RBI, 8 home runs. 1-1 pitch coming. Hit into center field. Baumtrog will get to it. And here comes the runner tagging from third and scoring, Brandon Pack. So Carolina's on the board, and it's a 2-1 game with 1 down.
Well, not much that Baumtrog could do about that. Pack with good speed, even for a catcher at third base, and the ball was hit fairly deep. Nicholson right now just trying to get out of this with a limited amount of damage. He's got a 2-1 lead, and a ground ball could get him out of the inning.
Chris Plummer, hot corner man for Carolina. There you see another look at it. Tennessee lead cut to 1. Runners at first and second. Dyson at second. Rios at first. And Plummer, who has been hitting very well as of late. Had some problems with an injury for most of the season, has finally overcome an ankle injury. Plummer. Nicholson from the stretch, and the pitch, a breaking ball, misses. 1-0. Just 1 down. Plummer hitting .273. Tennessee scored in their portion of the first on a 2 RBI single by Justin Parker, and Carolina just scored on a sac fly from Marcus McBeth that plated Brandon Pack from third.
Chris Plummer just 1 for 5 so far in the series. He has managed to score a run, but I guess you'd say he's due.
6 home runs on the year. Very solid third baseman. The pitch from Nicholson. Fastball in there. Dyson will hold up. Guarantee you Jim Coleman, third base coach, was not going to let Trey hit home. Now, if the ball had gone to the wall and rattled around, maybe. But Trey is not going to impress you with his wheels. He will with his glove and his bat, but not with his wheel.
Well, I think it's a good decision right there. The Gamecocks are hitting Nicholson pretty well right here as you watch it again. Probably a good move on the part of the third base coach there, and now South Carolina with the bases loaded again, and the McHenry coming up.
John McHenry. To look at Rod Delmonico. He's had a great deal of success at Tennessee. Made a trip to the College World Series himself a few years back.
Sure did.
Bases full, out of the stretch. Breaking ball is low, and a nice play by Massey to keep it from getting by. McHenry, 1 for 4 with 2 RBIs with the bases loaded. Our statistician is Brennan. Always on top of the numbers, even though he's a Red Sox fan. 1-0 pitch. McHenry takes a look at it, and it's 1-1. Call strike. 21 ribbies for McHenry, who has shared playing time with Jeffcoat, though McHenry's gotten most of the playing time. 2-1 Tennessee. 3 hits for Carolina, looking for number 4. Bunted right to Nicholson. He won't make the play at the plate. He'll go to first, and they're 2 down, and the game is tied at 2 apiece as Dyson comes home.
Well, perfectly executed squeeze bunt right there as Nicholson looked for a moment like he might try to go to Massey. In fact, I think Massey thinks that they had a play at the plate, but Devon decided instead to go to first base and get the sure out. So with 2 outs, we got a tie ball game.
2-2 as Nate Janowicz will step in. Here's another look at it. Bunting is such an art form, and it's even harder with the bats we use nowadays not using wood. It's much tougher to bunt.
Oh, that metal bat will really push the ball out there in a hurry if you don't deaden it. And South Carolina, as I mentioned a moment ago, has done a great job this weekend of getting the ball down.
From the stretch, runners at second and third. Breaking pitch misses to Janowicz. Nate Janowicz, his teammates lovingly refer to him as Surfer Dude. Youngster out of California, junior college transfer. Writes some rap music. Wants to be a producer. A movie producer. Breaking pitch is a beauty. Here's the throw down to third. Rios is back in time. We're tied at 2 apiece. Jano hitting .339. We got 2 down and a 1-1 count. Rios at third. Gets a cautious lead. Nicholson takes a lot of time. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Low, blocked by Massey. Keeping his eye on Rios. Not going anywhere. Kept it in front of him, but just to be sure. Massey very attentive.
He's an excellent receiver. He's done a great job. Really solidified that position for the Volunteers this year. The problem, they really don't have a good backup, and he's done yeoman's duty this year for this team.
Nate Janowicz, a senior. The runners at second and third in this 2-2 game. Nicholson pitch inside it, hitting. So Janowicz, with help from Nicholson, loads up the bases. That's just the second time that Janowicz has been hit by a pitch this season. And that's smart.
Oh, it does, even on a warm day. Not quite as much as it did a couple of months ago. That's the 8th batter that Nicholson's hit this year.
2-2 game. A good look there at Devon Nicholson, who's overcome injury.
He really has. He's done a great job coming back and just hasn't gotten comfortable yet with all of his pitches.
Here's Drew Meyer trying to break the tie. Breaking pitch on the corner to Massey from Nicholson. It's 0-1. 2 away. We're in the Gamecock second. Meyer with 39 RBIs. Pitch is on the corner. 0-2.
That was on the extreme inside corner right there. I don't think Meyer thought that was in the strike zone at all. He spun around. The home plate umpire Arthur Schmidt rang him up there.
0-2 pitch coming. Here it is, fastball outside. 1-2. Nicholson, 10 pitches in the first inning. Here in the second, 24. Meyer fouls it out of play. Count stays 1-2. Drew Meyer, young man who's got great wheels but hasn't learned how to run the bases as yet. Ray Tanner says when he learns how to run the bases, look out, he'll swipe a bunch. Right now he's trying to pick up some RBIs here and break this 2-2 tie.
Very similar to Chris Burke last year for Tennessee. He did not have a good stolen base record last year at all, but this year he's been about 3 times better.
2-2. Carolina leads this overall series against the Volunteers 24-18, and in games played since the Gamecocks joined the SEC, Tennessee leads 15-13. As Carolina won 2 of the last 3 last year in Knoxville. Ball swung on, slow grounder to second base. The play is made to first, and the inning is over. So we head on to the Tennessee third, and we're tied at 2-2.
Don't worry about bad storms or Y2K. Now just a simple...
Carolina, 2 runs on 3 hits and no errors. For Tennessee, 2 runs on 2 hits. Tennessee got them quick. And then Carolina came back in their portion of the second inning. Got some very interesting work. Scott Barber is on the hill now for Carolina. Interesting work in particular on a sacrifice by Marcus McBeth that scored a run, and a squeeze bunt RBI from second baseman John McHenry. Squeeze bunt was a thing of beauty. Laid down the third base line and just simply died in the grass. Nobody had a play. Scott Barber, one of the killer bees. Hawk Knight, Bauer, and Barber. Barber's first pitch is just a tad outside, 1-0. Hopkins hitting for the Tennessee Volunteers. Walk and a run scored, swung on, fouled out of play. Evens the count at 1-1. Brandon Hopkins. Ball hit toward second. McHenry can't do it. Clean single by Hopkins. And that is the third hit for Tennessee.
Final line on Chris Spigner. He pitched 2 innings, gave up 2 runs on 2 hits. Both the runs were earned. He walked 4 and did not record actually, he did record 1 strikeout in the game.
Parker will stand in now for Tennessee. He's the guy that delivered those 2 runs for Tennessee on a single to left. Hitting at .317. Runner at first. Ball swung on, fouled out of play.
We talked earlier about how walks can come back to haunt you. Both Tennessee runs, those runners got on base via the walk.
2-2 game. Barber out of the stretch, delivers, breaking pitch just a bit high. 1-1. Scott Barber with a 2.87 ERA and a 6-1 record. Pitched 75 innings, given up 69 hits now. Here's a pitch right on the corner to Parker, and it's 1-2. Barber's given up 28 runs, 24 earned, 17 base on balls. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed by Parker, and he rung him up. 1 down.
First strikeout of the ball game for Scott Barber, who comes on for Chris Spigner, and giving up that leadoff hit, seemed to settle down a little bit right there. He's had an outstanding performance. Here's the strikeout right there. Good, like a slow curveball on the outside corner.
Jeff Baumtrog is the Tennessee hitter. Very fine center fielder. Hitting .331. Fastball is there on the black. 0-1.
Baumtrog 7 for 10 last weekend in the series against Vanderbilt, which Tennessee swept. 2 for 8 coming into this series, and actually 2 for 9 now for the series.
1 down, runner at first as Barber delivers a breaking pitch, hit toward McBeth. He'll run to it toward the track. It hits the wall, bounces off the wall. Janowicz will pick it up. He'll throw it to Meyer on the relay. Meyer's throw is not in time, and Tennessee goes up 3-2. Sliding home, 21st is Brandon Hopkins.
Excellent job by Jeff Baumtrog right there. He just rode that one into the gap. McBeth, even with that great speed, couldn't catch up to it. And Brandon Hopkins, although he's been bothered by that stress fracture in his leg and his shin, showed some pretty good speed right there. And Larry Simcox took a chance, and it paid off for him. That's the third base coach, Larry Simcox,
who before coming to Tennessee was assistant coach at the University of Mississippi.
And an outstanding shortstop for them. As you see Hopkins sliding across the dish right there with a good head-first slide.
Pitch on the way. It's high and outside. 1-0. Massey, the catcher, hitting a shade over 300. 0 for 1 with a ground out. Tennessee up 3-2. Barber's pitch swung on, hit to the opposite field to Nelson. Nelson has it, and he'll throw it into second. So Nelson, the receiver of out number 2 here in the Tennessee third.
Tried to get a little tricky there. Baumtrog acted like he was going to tag and go to third, and Nelson didn't buy it from the beginning. Threw the ball right into second base and threw a strike. Baumtrog got back just barely.
Tennessee with a 1-run lead. Carolina has come back to win so far this season 17 times. Pitch gets away from Pack, but he keeps it in front of him, and the runner at second stays put. Barber talking with catcher Brandon Pack. Mentioned what a settling force Brandon Pack is to all his pitching staff, and if you take time to talk with each one of these pitchers, they'll tell you that if you're a little bit shaky, nervous, whatever it may be, he'll settle you down. And that's a gift.
He's been very impressive this weekend. It's the first time I've got to see him play.
Barber out of the stretch, and a breaking ball is right down the heart of the plate. Evens the count at 1-1. We got 2 away, and Tennessee's up 1.
Just seems to have control of the game, and a great receiver does that. I mean, he just has everything in front of him, and he takes control.
Pitch to Massey, or rather Moffett, swung on and missed.
Ryan Moffett lost 12 pounds in about 2 weeks a few weeks ago. Had some kind of a stomach ailment. They never did figure out exactly what it was, but he's just now getting where he's feeling good again.
Pitch outside the Pack. 2-2.
Really good waist pitch right there. That was awfully tough to take.
2 down. Barber struck out Parker, but then Baumtrog delivered an RBI. All fouled out of play. Long foul ball by Moffett. 2-2.
Baumtrog has made his hits count this weekend. Friday night, trailing 1-0. He took Kip Bachnight deep into left field and gave Tennessee a 2-1 lead. They held into the 5th inning.
Ryan Moffett, Tennessee starting left fielder. Looks at a pitch outside from Barber, and it's full at 3-2. Ryan Moffett with 29 RBI on the season. Pitch is right there on the corner, and Moffett just had to look at it. He knew it. He's rung up, and Carolina heads to the dugout down 1 to Tennessee. That's the second strikeout for Barber. We're coming right back at you.
Hi, I'm Mindy McCourtney. Today I'd like to show you a wonderful way to commemorate the United States Mint's 50 State Quarters program. It's the new USA Coin Collection album. Now, this innovative album features a full-color map of all 50 states.
Welcome to the Gamecock portion of the third inning as they trail Tennessee 3-2. The Volunteers 4 hits and Carolina with 3. And of course, we know that Carolina has locked up the #1 seed in the SEC tournament in Birmingham at Hoover Memorial Stadium next week, and we know Tennessee is out of it. But there are a couple of other teams that are biting their nails down to the quick today.
Well, they sure are. Ole Miss is hosting Arkansas this afternoon. If the Rebels win, they're in. If they lose and Kentucky beats Vanderbilt in Nashville, then the Wildcats sneak in the back door. So a lot of tension in Nashville and Oxford today.
Shane Nelson, one of the co-captains, popped out. The only trip at the plate. Young man who has got a lot of pop in the bat, but has gotten very little playing time because of an early season injury. First pitch to him is a breaking ball off speed over the shortstop. Stevie Daniel can't get to it. It's a bloop single, but goes down the scorebook just like a line drive.
Well, that'll make up for one that he hits right on the button right at somebody later on in this season. But good start for the Carolina third.
Single by Shane Nelson. That'll bring up the catcher, Brandon Pack. And here's another look at Nelson. And that was in the right place at the right time.
Kind of in the Bermuda Triangle out there. Stevie Daniel, though, showing great range. He was way out in left field. Came within a step or two of running that one down.
Brandon Pack with nobody out. Takes a look over at the Carolina dugout and Coach Ray Tanner. Jim Toman coaching at third and Stuart Lake at first for Carolina. The stretch and the pitch on the way is a slow breaking ball outside, 1-0.
Now 6 for 9 on the weekend, having himself one heck of a series. He scored his 5th run of the weekend, also his first time up.
Out of the stretch, Nicholson. Outside to Pack. It's 2-0. Mentioned Brandon Pack has one of the grand slams for Carolina this season, as they have 4. He's delivered a lot of clutch hits in very crucial situations. Runner at first, out of the stretch, and the pitch, and it's there in the corner. 2-1.
Devon Nicholson certainly does not want to get into a situation where he's got to come in with a pitch to Brandon Pack. That is for sure. That was an excellent 2-0 pitch right on the outside corner there.
Nelson gets the lead off first. Pack have to wait to look at the 2-1 pitch. That's a nice scoop up over at first there by Christensen as he dug it out of the dirt.
And Jeff Christensen doesn't play in the field very often. He is normally the designated hitter. Coach Delmonico, though, trying to get some more pop in the lineup tonight, or this afternoon, puts him in at first.
Another throw over to first. Gets away from Christensen after he makes the tag on the back of Nelson. He retrieves it. And Nicholson will stand in, work out of the stretch for the 2-1 delivery to Brandon Pack. Pack's family is here, by the way, all the way from Salt Lake City, Utah. Garrett and Laurie Pack. 2-1 pitch. Again, it's over to first base to Nelson. I just can't imagine Nelson going on a bad wheel.
No, I can't imagine it either. And Nicholson, though, has a good move to first, but he's not very far off over there.
Pack have to wait a little bit longer on the 2-1 delivery.
I think the crowd also believes the same thing you do, Charlie. They know that
it's hot out here. Let's play.
They want to get out of here.
Here's the pitch on the way, and it's outside, 3-1.
You suppose that Coach Tanner got Pack and John McHenry on the same recruiting trip, Salt Lake City and Sparks, Nevada?
Kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
I guess so.
Athletic directors have to love that. You get 2 on 1 recruiting trip.
Yeah, but it's a long trip.
Pitch on the way, and it walks Pack.
And they were sending Nelson.
So Rod Delmonico did know something we didn't know. Apparently. That's no surprise.
No, not at all.
That's no surprise.
The second walk for Nicholson in the ball game.
Runners at first and second for the Carolina Gamecocks as the first baseman Trey Dyson stands in. Dyson has started now 31 games on the year, delivered 40 hits, 44 RBI, and 11 four-baggers. Won a grand slam here in this series. First pitch is a breaking ball, fouled out of play by Dyson.
Got a little bit out ahead of that when Nicholson pulled the string on him, and Dyson, I think, was trying to jump on that first pitch. A lot of the Tennessee pitchers will come in and try to get ahead, and you can get a good pitch to hit on the first pitch.
Dyson will look at an 0-1. Ducks on the pond. Nicholson out of the stretch, throws it a tad outside. Tennessee has a 1-run lead. We're in the Gamecock third. Once again, Carolina goes to Birmingham next week as the top seed in the SEC tournament. They'll draw either Kentucky or Ole Miss on Wednesday.
Wednesday night at 8 o'clock.
Pitch is on the corner to Dyson, and it's 1-2. Trey hitting .315. Wants to be a sportscaster one day. I've tried to discourage him, but
now
he's a Dean's List student. He should be a doctor or a lawyer.
It's sure a lot of fun, though.
Maybe he'll be an agent. His own agent. Dyson swung on and missed. Count stays 1-2.
Really has an unusual batting style with that bat laid back flat. Reminds me a little bit of Frank Robinson back when he played, when I watched him as a kid in Cincinnati. had that same type of style and won a Triple Crown with it eventually for the Orioles.
Where's the pad on that right elbow? Several games back, he got clipped by a fastball, and it's still a bit tender.
Wears glasses as well, which on a hot day like this can be a problem.
1-2 pitch with 2 aboard. Dyson. Check swing. Nope. They got him. So he rings him up. Strikeout. Nicholson gets Dyson. That brings up Marcos Rios with 1 down.
There you get a look at it from the side angle, and there's the look of surprise. First strikeout of the day for Devon Nicholson. He's walked 2 already in the game and hit a batter as well. So 3 free passes on per strikeout. That's not the kind of ratio that'll help you beat the first place or the number 1 team in the nation.
Marcos Rios, the hitter, had a single. Pitches inside, 1-0. Tennessee with a 1-run lead. Each team has 4 hits, and neither team has committed an error. Neither team committed an error on Friday night either.
No, it's been a very well-played game, well-played series defensively.
Pitch from Nicholson is a breaking ball. A little nubber out there. Nicholson barehands it, goes to first. Nice play. 2 down.
One of the strengths of Devon Nicholson is his defense. He is extremely quick off the mound. He made a play against Vanderbilt last week in a key situation on a bunt down the third baseline that I still don't believe, having seen the game that he made. And it was a crucial play in that win for Tennessee.
That brings the center fielder Marcus McBeth to the plate. Here's another look at Rios, and a tremendous play by Nicholson to barehand it and go to first. But that moves Shane Nelson to third base, and Carolina's got runners now at second and third. And now we got timeout as the orange shirts will converge on the hill.
Randy Massey, the pitching coach for the Volunteers, out to have a conversation, and also the Gamecocks going to get together for a little conflab out between second and third. As Coach Massey, I'm sure at this point, wanting to talk to his pitcher about whether you want to pitch to a very hot-hitting Marcus McBeth or whether maybe you want to pitch to Chris Plummer, who's having a much tougher series.
It is a 1-run ball game. And Carolina is trying to get the lead back with a big hit.
It amazed me, this crew all weekend, and I've been here for all 3 games as you have, gives the opposing coach a long time to talk out at the mound before they go break it up. It's longer than I've seen anybody do this year. And they let Massey go out. They probably figured out what they're having for dinner and what movie they're going to see when they get back to Knoxville.
Carolina with 6 SEC sweeps this season. Never swept Tennessee. Trying to do it here today.
Well, they are, and they're certainly in a dogfight. This Tennessee team has battled everybody tough. Actually, South Carolina has blown the Vols out more than just about anybody all season long. They've been in a lot of tight games and just been unable to hold leads late.
McBeth an RBI in the second inning. Sacrifice fly to center, and he ropes it out of play down the third base line.
Maybe the decision should have been to pitch to Plummer. Boy, he cranked that one.
McBeth hitting at .305. Tennessee 3-2 in the third. Nicholson won't check the runners. He'll throw off-speed pitch. 1-1.
I think Coach Jim Toman down in the third base coaching box was wondering if he was going to get to see that brand new baby again.
And that baby's name is, believe it or not, Charlie Mack.
That's what I understand.
Charles is the name on his side, and his wife, McLaughlin. Strike in there for a strike to McBeth at 1-2. Jim Tolman coaching down in the third base box for Carolina. Told him I was very honored to have a child named after him. And his wife. Really more honored to have a child named after his wife.
Well, I can understand that.
Than Jim. 1-2 pitch, 2 down. McBeth inside. 2-2.
Pitch had a little message from Nicholson trying to move McBeth off the plate. Now let's see if Nicholson decides to try to buzz him on the outside corner and get a big out for Tennessee.
McBeth has been hit by a pitch 5 times this season. McHenry and Plummer have been hit the most times, 7 apiece. Tennessee's had a lot of guys hit. I think it's 89 or 90. Breaking pitch, McBeth. Great job of hitting. On the run, the left fielder can't get to it. It's to the wall, over the wall. So, Nelson and Pack cross the plate, and Marcus McBeth gets a stand-up double. But Carolina up on the Volunteers 4-3.
An outstanding job right there. A big 2-out hit, and that is how you win championships right there. And this South Carolina team has been opportunistic all season long, and that's just another example. Watch this. Good balance. Ball out over the plate, up around the waist, and he puts a charge in it. Right here, Ryan Moffett tries his best to get a glove on it. It bounces over the Bell South sign, and that's a ground rule double and 2 RBIs for McBeth.
And that'll bring up Chris Plummer hitting .277. Good look at McBeth. His nickname, Shakespeare.
Imagine that.
Chris Plummer, 1 for 1 with a single. Here's a throw over to second. Carolina, McBeth's double, ground rule double, picking up its 5th hit of the afternoon. Tennessee has 4 hits. Gamecocks up 1. Here's the stretch and the pitch on the win. A beautiful breaking ball for a strike.
McBeth is now 7 for 11 on the weekend, and those are his 3rd and 4th RBIs of the series.
Nicholson out of the stretch, throws, ropes down the left side, way out of play. Plummer really turned on it. 0-2.
Tennessee really looking to Devon Nicholson next year as a possible closer for this team. It's one thing that Coach Delmonico has not been able to find this year out of his staff. Brandon Crowe, a young freshman with a real live arm, has had some health problems and some sore arm problems. He thought he might be the guy, but they're actually looking at Nicholson possibly next year to come in and be that closer for Tennessee.
Here's the 0-2 pitch. High. And Massey took a good look at that one. I'm sure Rod Delmonico did too, because Massey wasn't sure he had it.
That looked more like a rebound. Showed some good height on that jump right there.
Count is 1-2 to Plummer, the Carolina third baseman. Another look at Delmonico. The shades on, and fouled out of play by Plummer. Count stays at 1-2. Interesting that both these head coaches hail from the state of North Carolina.
It is, and I guess maybe that's a good state for great head coaches, because both these guys have done an outstanding job at their school, and Ray Tanner certainly has taken this program to the next level this year.
Out of the stretch, Plummer, 1-2 pitch coming, and it's looped into right. Parker's got it, inning over. But Carolina gets the lead back on Tennessee. Now up by a single digit, 4-3, as we head on to the top of the 4th. It's Carolina 4, Tennessee 3.
It's only a little scratch.
Here a scratch, there a scratch, everywhere a scratch.
And welcome back to Columbia, South Carolina. The home folks here with a 4-3 lead, and it's our pleasure to welcome into the booth a man who's got a few coaching victories under his belt, and that's the legendary Lou Holtz. Lou, thanks for stopping by.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Charlie. It's great to be out here. Beautiful day, beautiful crowd, great score right now.
And I know when you look at this Carolina team coached by Ray Tanner, you see a lot of things that are the intangibles besides talent that get you to the #1 spot in the nation, a place where you've been before.
Well, you have to have the intangibles. You have to have chemistry, and you have to have everybody step up. Baseball's a little bit different than football in the fact that you follow the ball. The pitcher has it, and then you watch it bat, and then you watch where it hits. Whereas in football, the intangibles are what you do when nobody's looking. It determines whether you're going to be #1 or not.
Moffett, the hitter, 1-0. He hits .332. Make it Bennett, the third baseman, standing in. Moffett struck out in the third to end the inning, and Bennett stands in, hits a ground ball to second base. McHenry scoops it, throws on to Dyson for the first out of the inning. Did you play any baseball? I know you played football at Kent State.
I played baseball an awful lot. As a matter of fact, I played freshman ball at Kent State, and Gene Michaels was the shortstop, and Rich Rollins was the third baseman, and I played second. We were on $1 million infield. I was the only infielder wasn't worth $1 million. The first baseman was from Youngstown, and his dad was in the construction and worth several million. So it was fun. I really enjoyed baseball.
Burke rips it up the middle for Tennessee, and that's his second hit of the game, and that one had smoke coming off that one. But Tennessee's got a runner aboard with one down. We're in the volunteer fourth, and Carolina has a one-run lead, 4-3. That brings up Daniel, the shortstop.
See, I would rather see a guy hit a single than to walk on 4 pitches, because you have a great fielding team here with Carolina as well as timely hitting, and if they put it in play, we're going to get it a majority of the time.
Out of the stretch, Barber gets the corner in the inside portion of the plate. It's 0-1.
What I'm really amazed at is how well people swing the bat today. I'm talking about from Little League on. Their form is so much better than anything we were taught when I was growing up.
Your favorite team growing up?
Oh, I followed the Pittsburgh Pirates and then the Cleveland Indians, and I can give you the 48 and 54 roster right now and starting lineup for both of them. Now, Pittsburgh, you didn't hear many people like Monty Basco and people like that, but I was a great baseball fan, but they didn't have it on TV all the time. But I listened to the Pirates and I listened to the Cleveland Indians. Emil Bosser was a groundkeeper, and it was just great growing up. Listened to every game.
Even though the groundkeeper. That's pretty good.
Well, because we weren't real fast at Cleveland, and Emil Bosser always tapered the infield so that all bunts went foul.
0-2 is the count to Stevie Daniel. Tennessee's fine shortstop. Runner at first with one down, and Barber out of the stretch delivers, and it's swung on and fouled out of play. Count stays at 0-2. Who is your favorite player?
Oh, my favorite player, I love Lou Boudreau. Was a player manager for Cleveland.
Shortstop?
He was a shortstop. I was a very good fielder. I couldn't hit real well. And what really bothered me was I have a lazy left eye, and I batted right-handed, and I couldn't see the ball very well. Then after I got done playing freshman ball at Kent State, because I couldn't hit real well, back in our hometown, we got too big for the field, so you had to bat opposite. And when I batted left-handed with my right eye, I could see everything. I could hit it. And I said, good Lord knows, I should have did this a long time ago. All of a sudden, I could see the ball, and that made a difference.
Barber's 1-2 pitch is on the way and fouled out of play down the first base line. Gamecocks with a one-run lead here in the Tennessee fourth. And next week, of course, heading on to Birmingham for the SEC tournament. You've been in so many bowl games, so many times in postseason play. It's such an elation to get to postseason play.
Well, the big thing you have to do, and there are many coaches that sometimes struggle in that area. I think Jim Moore has never won a playoff game, and yet he did a great job in New Orleans. But whatever got you to the playoff ought to get you out of the playoff successfui. Whatever you did going in, don't change a thing. Just treat it like anything else. Forget about the magnitude of it. Forget about the suddenness of it. Just enjoy the experience and remember the same things that got you there.
Pitch out to Pack, but the runner at first is back, and the count stays at 2-2.
So the difference in when you get into a playoff or bowl game, etc., is the focus of the opposition is so much better than, well, you go ahead and call it, because that was it.
There's another sharp single, putting runners at the corner for Tennessee with one down. Jeff?
Now, it was an outstanding job right there. The pitcher tried to stick his foot out, and actually, if he hadn't done that, I think it may have been a double play.
It would have been a double play. The shortstop was in great place. He was playing over for the hit and run to begin with, and he would have stepped on second and doubled him up. But those are just some of the intangible things that happen during the course of the year you can't control.
After Bennett grounds out to open the inning, second to first, and back-to-back singles by Burke and Daniel, and Tennessee has runners at the corner. And standing in now, Jeff Christensen.
Coach, I wanted to ask you, getting back into coaching, obviously last year was a tough one to get through, but are you enjoying being back around the kids?
Oh, I really enjoy it. We have some dreams and goals and aspirations. Last year was frustrating because of the 6 quarterback situation we're forced to play, as well as the 16 offensive linemen.
Kind of a swinging bunt there, Christensen, and Dyson has an easy play for the second out of the inning.
Tennessee likes to do the safety squeeze, and that's exactly what Christensen was trying to do right there to get that run home. Unfortunately for Tennessee, he got under it a little bit. Good play by the first base.
Well, if you like to do it, you ought to do it well.
Exactly.
That's Hopkins. Brandon Hopkins, 1 for 1, a walk, a single, and scored 2 runs, 2 of Tennessee's 3 runs. Here's Barber's pitch, and it's low. Pack keeps it from going anyplace else. Hopkins hitting at .329. Carolina 1-run lead. Barber, runners at first and third, 2-out situation. Checks and throws. Runner goes from first. Pack double fake there to third, then to second. Holds onto the ball, and Tennessee with runners at second and third.
I know that's about Tennessee's 5th stolen base today. And what's unusual is the pitcher takes a slide step. He doesn't take and bring his foot way up, so the runner really doesn't get that good of a jump. So Tennessee must have outstanding speed.
Brandon Hopkins with a .329 batting average takes a strike from Barber. And it's 1-2.
Coach, that's very observant. Tennessee is the leading stolen base team in the Southeastern Conference. First team ever in SEC play to steal over 200 in a season.
Well, you can't steal first base, so they must be able to get on there some other ways.
1-2 pitch. Hard hit ground ball to Dyson. Will make the play unassisted, and Carolina is out of the inning. So we move to the Gamecock 4th, and the home folks hold on to that 1-run lead, 4-3.
My name's Anthony Sullivan,
and welcome back, everybody. This is Charlie McAlexander with Jeff Jacoby and Carolina head football coach Lou Holtz. Here this afternoon, the Gamecocks with a 1-run lead on Tennessee, 4-3. And Lou, we talked about your baseball prowess and about the eye and switching sides of the plate. Baseball strategy. You are such a strategist on the football field. You carve up a baseball game when you see it.
Well, you do, but Coach Tanner has played so much professional baseball and obviously knows the game far more than anybody that I've ever been around. But yeah, there is a lot of strategy. When you have first and third, who's going to cover, etc. We used to do a lot of stupid things. We had runner on first and second. We would fake a bunt down third, and the third baseman come in, and then we'd steal third. So it depends. That's why you have to switch up the different things. But baseball's a great game. You get out there, and when I was a pitcher, they enjoyed it because everybody hit the ball.
They really enjoyed it, huh?
Oh, yeah. I mean, that made the fielders alert. I mean, it wasn't like we had a guy named Rudy Turpovich that went to Tennessee on a baseball scholarship, but he struck everybody out, so you just stood out there and counted the birds.
There's a good look at Ray Tanner, who's done just a remarkable job with this squad. He calls them a bunch of dirtbags lovingly. Here's the pitch outside to McHenry, and the count goes to 1-2. McHenry laid down a beautiful squeeze bunt for an RBI back in the second inning. He did it just about as good as you possibly can. And again, it's a real art form, especially with those bats. Won't die off that bat like it does off a wooden bat. Nicholson's pitch to McHenry is outside and in the dirt, and that evens the count at 2-2.
The thing about Coach Tanner's got a great baseball team, but he only has about 4 seniors on this team. So he's had some junior college players come in and contribute greatly as well. So that's a credit to him to mold this team together.
Swung on and missed by McHenry, and there's one down, and that brings up Nate Janowicz. That is the second strikeout for Nicholson. Our guest here up in the booth is Carolina football coach Lou Holtz. Talked about your favorite teams growing up, the Cleveland Indians and the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Well, the Pirates set a record for losses, and Cleveland was very, very good. At third baseman, you had Rosen in 54, Keltner in 48, Boudreaux and Boone, different years, Luke Easter, Doby, Mitchell, Kennedy, Mossy, Narleski, Garcia, Lemon, Winfeller. Those were great days.
Pitch on the way. Janowicz takes a look at it, 2-0. I just met Larry Doby for the first time 2 weekends ago in Salisbury, North Carolina.
Hey, Larry,
what a treat.
He was the first Afro-American
Camden,
to play.
South Carolina.
I didn't realize that. It played in the American League. Obviously, Robinson was the first in the major leagues.
Swung on and missed by Janowicz. Have to check his back after that one. He took a rip at it.
He might have to.
When you follow baseball as vivid as I did, it was obvious you didn't have much of a social life, and I did. So baseball was my out. And I checked that box score of everybody. Golly, and the Yankees were our big rivals.
Janowicz looking at a 2-1 count. One down. Breaking pitch high and outside.
Janowicz, a great football name. I think his great uncle was a Heisman Trophy winner.
Well, Vic Janowicz was a great runner. He also played catcher, and that guy named John Galbraith, who has farms in Ohio and a big Ohio State backer, gave him a big bonus, and then he went with Pittsburgh. It was Dick Rote, who was a great shortstop with Duke at that time. He was a great basketball player as well. I got to tell you, I went up to Pittsburgh, first major league game I ever saw. Cardinals were playing. I'm a big Cardinal fan. I'm over by the dugout. Everybody else by the Pittsburgh dugout. Whittaker, Nippy Jones, and Marty Marion are playing Pepper. They knocked the ball in the stands. They threw it back out. They gave it to me. They autographed it. Boy, I took it home. I was so proud. The next day, my dad found out and said, "Hey, I used to be a pitcher." Took me out. First pitch, he threw it over my head. It went down the sewer, and I never saw the ball again.
You're kidding me.
Honest to
You
God.
gotta be
No, honest to God. And I want to tell you, we all lived on a hill. One time that sewer, it was gone.
Drew Meyer will be the next hitter. Free pass to Janowicz. It's a 4-3 game with Carolina ahead and one down in the fourth.
Overshift. Big time.
Big time. Stevie Daniels, a shortstop, is over on the second base side.
I mean, obviously he's a pool hitter.
You think?
Okay, because this pitcher isn't going to overwhelm anybody.
Very astute observation.
Well, you don't see that very, very often, particularly when you don't play somebody 40 times a year like they do in the Major League.
And a number 2 hitter. You don't see very many number 2 hitters that are just dead pull like that.
You don't think that's tempting to Meyer?
I think it's sort of like when I play golf. Everybody would sort of protect the other side.
Play made by Stevie Daniel, a shortstop on to first. Not in time, but he gets the lead runner at second, and they're 2 down, so the shift works.
The shift worked that time. They used to play Ted Williams in that manner as well.
And they play Mark McGuire that way now, too. I think going the other way, obviously, being a right-handed hitter.
Shane Nelson, one of the 4 seniors and co-captain.
A guy that I had really admired was Ted Williams and Stan Musial, both when I was growing up. They were both great baseball players, but I admired Ted Williams because twice in the height of his career he left to defend this country.
Right.
He went to the Korean War as well. And Stan Musial, I've got to know both of them. Just great people, but great baseball players.
Nelson swings on. Out of play. Stan the man. He had a great restaurant there too. Stan Biggies in Stan and Biggies. Is it still there?
He did, but the difference, when I was growing up, everybody had a different batting stance. Stan Musial batted out of the crouch, and Ted Williams was more upright. Now you watch everybody bats the same way. They stand the same way, Now some of them will hold the bat higher, but everybody drops it in the same place. I was always taught to put the bat in place so you can swing on and play on a normal plane.
Nelson, look at a 1-1 count. A little later, throw over to first. Meyer, once again, great wheels, tremendous speed. Hasn't learned how to run the bases yet, but again, when he does, look out.
It's not hard, just keep turning left.
Pitch away, Nelson pops it up. That'll be out of play. The catcher Massey waves him off, and the inning is over. Carolina up by 1, 4-3, as we move on to the Tennessee 5th. We're coming right back.
I guess it was about a year ago, something really different.
Welcome back. There you see a look at the crowd here in Columbia, and a very, very good crowd, and that's a great idea. Big umbrella and hats. There were a lot of umbrellas out here yesterday in that 97-degree heat.
Right there is Brandon Hopkins' girlfriend on the right, and Jeff Christensen's on the left.
As I said, a good crowd, even for a Mother's Day.
Ashley Martin on the right, Mary Hannah Blaine on the left. That's Ashley's mom. A bunch of folks in, a lot of the families from Tennessee.
Dees now moving to right field, replacing Shane Nelson. Dees a regular starter in right. Here's Barber out of the wind. Pitch is on the way, and it's a ball. Justin Parker, the hitter, hitting at .315, swung on, hit to Drew Meyer. He'll flip it over to first to Dyson, one down. It's a pleasure having Lou Holtz in to talk with us.
Unbelievable, really is. I met Lou when I was 5 years old. My father played football at Ohio State, and he took me to media day, and Lou was on the staff. Got to meet him up there a long time ago.
Boy, that is, those memories are just, and always will be, something very, very special.
Oh, they sure will. Sports is a wonderful thing, and
meet a lot of neat people.
You really do.
A few wacko people, but you meet a lot of neat people, right? Yeah. Here's a breaking ball in there for a strike. Jeff Baumtrog, the center fielder, hitting .335. Gets ready for the second offering from Barber, and this one's on the corner, outside part of the plate, and it's 0-2. And I say that lovingly, mainly about sportscasters and folks involved in TV and radio and print. I guess we have to be a little bit off-center, just a little. Pitch by Barber's outside in the dirt by Pack. It's 1-2.
Just a little off-center.
Scott Barber, what a year this young man has had. Many are wondering if he'll go in the draft. He will certainly be drafted. Breaking ball, swung on, down the left field line. It is fair. Great piece of hitting by Baumtrog. Janowicz comes up with it, guns it into second. There's a swipe by McHenry, and runner is safe at second, so a double by Baumtrog with one down in the Tennessee fifth.
Great hustling play right there by Jeff Baumtrog, and it almost cost him Janowicz with an outstanding throw from left field. And you'll see it right here, a good swipe tag. And I think a good call by the official. Looked like he just missed him.
That brings up Massey, the catcher. There you see Baumtrog, the runner at second, one down. Massey hitting a shade under 300 at .299. Pitch by Barber, outside, 1-0. Barber out of the stretch. Pitch to Massey, way outside. It's 2-0. Carolina with a one-run lead on Tennessee, and neither team has made an error today. Tennessee with 7 hits, the Gamecocks with 5. Barber's pitch swung on, hit into the gap. Can anybody get to it? No, sir, it is in there. McBeth plays it off the wall. A run will score, and the game is tied at 4-4 as Baumtrog crosses the plate, and Massey's on with a stand-up double.
Well, that's a big hit for John Massey. He has really been struggling of late. As we mentioned a little earlier in the telecast, he's done just about all the catching for the Volunteers in the Southeastern Conference and during the midweek, which you don't see a whole lot of in this league. And his bat slowed down a little bit in recent weeks, but right there he picked it back up and got a big RBI double for the Vols.
Tennessee again with a runner at second. 4-4 game there. You see, look at Baumtrog checking that ball to the wall as this pitch gets by Pack, and that will send Massey to third. The hitter Ryan Moffett for Tennessee. 1-0 the count. Even as good a catcher's Pack is, it would have been very difficult to make that play.
Oh, it certainly would. That ball bounced up there very tough. The next interesting point here, Tennessee with their 4 runs right now has equaled their output in the first 2 games of this series.
In there, breaking ball for a strike as Moffett faked the bunt. It's 1-1. We've got one down here in the Tennessee fifth. Tennessee got a pair of runs in the first, got a run in the third. Carolina came back with 2 in the third and 2 in the fourth. Of course, Tennessee has scored here. Pitch is outside. It's 2-1.
That's the safety squeeze that you're looking at right there. Ryan Moffett squaring to bunt. If he can put the ball in play, he will. Massey, unlike the suicide squeeze, will wait until the ball is laid down before he comes to the plate.
Barber, pitch, bunted, down the first base side. Dyson tries to make the play. Everybody's safe. That's a base hit. Dyson, I think, wanted to try to flip it to the catcher, Pack, and that is a base hit, and a heck of a job on the bunt by Moffett. And Tennessee retakes the lead now, 5-4.
Good execution that time. Tennessee tried it last inning and it backfired on them. That time Moffett gets the ball down very nicely. And Massey, as you see right there, taking off after the ball goes down. Would have been a close play if the first baseman comes up with it right off the bat.
If it had been a hit a little bit harder, Dyson would have had a better chance to make a play at home, but it was hit so softly. Here's a throw over to first. Tennessee leads Carolina 5-4. Tennessee now 9 hits in the game, Carolina with 5. Kris Bennett, the hitter, looks at a pitch, drives it into center. McBeth is there, 2 down. 2 away here in the Tennessee 5th.
If you're thinking about Ryan Moffett at first as a possible candidate to try to steal a base, Tennessee has a team now with well over 210. He is 14 for 17. Doesn't go a lot, but when he does, he picks his spots well.
2 down.
Base hit for Burke here with time with Jeff Pickler for the all-time single-season record of 109.
Breaking ball is outside to Chris Burke. Boy, last time up, he hit a frozen rope up the middle. 2 for 2. There you see his numbers. Pitched by Barber, beautiful breaking pitch.
Also has his average back up to 400, which is really a goal of his. He knew he had to get probably 3 hits today to make that happen. He's got 2 of them so far.
SEC leader in hits fouls this one off. Can Dyson get to it? Room, yes. And the inning is over, so Carolina will head back to the dugout and try to get this thing even up again and possibly go ahead. We've been going back and forth. Heck of a ball game so far. Stick around. Tennessee up by 1.
Hi, I'm David Faraday, and you know why I